Oh, what a weekend, man. What a weekend. Season 8, Episode 3, Game of Thrones, awesome. Avengers Endgame, awesome. No spoilers, of course, but man. But that's not the topic of today's video. Today we're going to be talking about the stuff that's coming to the channel. Everything that I'm going to talk about on today's little episode here is actually going to be for sale. First, I'm going to be posting it to Patreon. Of course, gotta support the people who support me. And then I'll be releasing it publicly if it doesn't sell there. So if you want an opportunity to buy anything that we're talking about first, Patreon is the way to go. Now tomorrow we're gonna have the Z1R video, and then I think on either Thursday or Friday, I'm gonna put out the Jade 2 electrostatic amplifier and headphone review. But this week I'll be filming the M1060 and the M1060C with the open mods and the stock version, and I may be doing a comparison between the open version of the M1060C and the M1060. And I'm gonna actually re-review the M1060. And the reason why is I think it was one of, if not the first review I ever put out when I had less than 10 subscribers. And I'm kind of curious about reapproaching it and seeing like how my tastes have changed. I know I'm a much more attuned listener than I was before, so I'm curious if, because I recommended it back then, and I'm curious if I recommend it now in today's market with the existing headphones that are out there at the price range that it's at now, or if, you know, over time my opinion has changed. I'm personally just very curious about it. On the other side of things, we are actually, well, I'm not going to be reviewing it again, but I have one more triple driver over ears that I will be selling. This is kind of a little added statement, but I've actually already reviewed those. Then we have two things on the amplification and DAC section, which this is the Cavelli Labs Enog 2. Kind of an interesting little device that a surprising amount of people ask me about. And I think the reason why is because it's like a $200 balanced DAC, and there's not many DACs that are balanced at that $200 price range. So I probably will not be reviewing this individually because I don't do DAC reviews on this channel, but I might talk about it with an amplifier review like this Cavelli Hybrid amplifier here from Massdrop. And now this is going to be for sale as well, but I am going to do a full review, and I'm thinking about a comparison between the THX789 and the Cavelli Tube amp. I feel like I've gotten a lot of questions about that, so I think that'll be fun, but that's going to be coming probably sometime next 2 weeks, most likely. And then we actually have 3 Newish headphones. And by Newish, I mean, I've actually individually reviewed all of these. So we have the HD58X, the HE4XX, and the Philips SHP9500. You might be wondering why they're here. Well, so I was thinking about doing a couple of comparison videos. One, I wanted to do the HE4XX versus the HE58X because I think they're within like $10 of one another, if I'm not mistaken, but they're really close in price is the point. And I did a 4XX versus 6XX back in the day. This is a little bit different of a headphone, and with the new price change, I feel like this is a much more fair comparison. I mean, it always was a more fair comparison, but when I did that video, they didn't have the 58X out. I don't think they did, at least. So I want to compare these because these are both great headphones and great deals in audio. This is like one of the best entry-level planars you can get, and this is one of the best dynamic headphones that you can get for the money. And then I was also thinking about a comparison between these two. And initially I was like, well, they're not really in the same price bracket, but I think that's what I want to make the comparison about. This is $76. It just got back in stock on Amazon, which is kind of why I want to talk about it, because it's actually available and you don't have to buy it for like 150 bucks on eBay or something like that, which people were selling them for. But I want to compare it because these, I think with the new price increase on Massdrop, which I'll talk about in a second about the price increase thing, you know, these on Massdrop are $160. These are like $76. So it's almost exactly double. And I haven't listened to these comparatively yet, but I want to kind of see like, is this worth double the money? Because I think this is personally a better headphone. It's just a matter of by how much. People who either don't want to spend a lot of money on headphones, don't have a lot of money on headphones, or are new to the hobby and want to get into like the introductory level of headphones that, you know, $0 to $200 range. These are both really good players in that area. And, you know, this is going to be more for directing people who might be curious about, you know, one of the best bang for your buck at either price range. I mean, honestly, these both kick ass at the price they're offered at. Even though the SHPs are, you know, surprisingly controversial, but I think what caused the SHPs to be controversial were people comparing them and calling them like basically, you know, HD 600s or 650s, but for $76, to which, you know, if you're really comparing the two, they're not on equal playing grounds like 6XXs or SHPs. The SHPs don't have like the tonal or the timbre qualities that the 600 and 650 have, and they also don't have as good as like resolution and speed and all those things. But you know, I think that comparison really made a lot of people like, you know, kind of not necessarily angry, but really disagreed with that assessment. And I don't really think that's a fair assessment. Like, this is a completely different brand, completely different company, and you're talking about a headphone that, you know, when people are comparing it to the HD600s, those are, I think, $280. These are $76. So I think the comparison aspect was what really made this controversial. And not everybody is gonna like the sound signature. I'm not saying that everybody should, but I am saying that I think it's a good headphone, and I think that the controversial aspect of it is a little bit overrated. It doesn't need to be that harsh. Anyways, those are just my thoughts on it, but I want to talk about Massdrop for a second. And so if you go to massdrop.com, and I'm gonna do it right now just to make sure that I'm not crazy. So if you go to massdrop.com, it takes you to drop.com. So I think they changed their name. They also seemingly have changed their pricing structure for their Massdrop made headphones and knives. And it's a $10 to $20 increase depending on the item. Like, I think this got increased from $150 to $160, and 6XX's got increased to $220 from $200. And this move was, I mean, nobody likes price increases, let's be real. They did actually make a response on the price increase as to why it was. And, you know, some of it I kind of believe, some of it I don't, but either way, we got to deal with the new prices. And if you didn't know that the price increase, they did. So now you know. Consider yourself informed. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please go watch Game of Thrones. I want more people to talk about it with me. Although, don't spoil it in the comment section. Wait like a week, please. Same thing with Avengers. Great movie. I can't imagine a better way to finish off the current MCU. All right, until the next video, my name's Josh, signing off.